Welcome, viewers, back to Space Haven, where we join the ongoing adventures of Emerson, Jimmy, Madeline, and Tala aboard the HSS Horus. Last episode, we just managed to get our first shield generator planned and parts delivered. So as soon as this team wakes up, they should start working, hopefully finishing the construction of that. Taking a look, we have 3 hull blocks left. This shield generator takes 1 hull block, so that leaves us 2 hull blocks to plan out and expand the ship for what should probably be a second shield generator. We are also going to have to worry about some logistical things like supplying power to this generator and the fact that it's going to take the whole mess of tech and energy blocks. So honestly, it's not going to be for a while before we have the blocks available to make a second one of those. So we're just going to have to wing it and see if a single shield generator in the meantime is enough to survive some of the new hazards we're about to encounter, which include a solar flare up that direction and possibly a nebula down in this direction. Can't wait to see what happens. I'm sure it's going to be hilarious. We have time to accelerate to get these people up out of bed. There they go. Taking a look at our status and conditions. We see that the crew is actually feeling incredibly good. The only negatives that we're really seeing right now is that Madeline is really throwing a wrench into the happiness of the crew with, not actually affecting their happiness yet, but has generally negative relationships, negative views of the other crew members. We're going to see how that plays out in the long run. So far, we haven't seen any effects of that whatsoever. Let's take a look at the jobs we have right now. It looks like about 8 tasks, so we are not overwhelmed at this point. Most of those tasks are industry. Our main focus right now is going to be to continue to expand this hull. We want an additional shield generator, and we want to start adding weapons to the ship. If we take a look at what that means practically, energy turrets, a weapons console, a shield console. So immediately we're going to need a shield console. This thing takes what looks like 2 tech blocks. So we do have those available, and 2 infra blocks. It did require quite a few infra blocks to make that generator in the first place. So let's drop a shield console here next to the navigation. That's going to use up most of our remaining tech blocks. Really, until we have a much bigger stockpile of resources, it's really going to be hard to make additional systems blocks. We do need to also worry about the fact that that is not yet on the power grid. Taking a look at our power grid, it is just outside it, of course. We're going to put another power node near that. Now, it would be very unfortunate if we ran out of power on our shields. So we may want to consider upgrading this, but for now, we're going to install a wall power node. And the question is where? I think for now, the smartest place to put it is here, because that gives us minimal overlap with what already exists, and it potentially lets us power another unit with the same node if we do ever manage to extend this wing and insert an additional shield, sensor, or weapon in that direction. Shield console has had its resources delivered, so it's just waiting for construction. Actually, sorry, the blue outline means that it has resources available. They aren't delivered yet. Does look like there's quite a bit of stuff on the floor in the grow beds in the grow rooms here, and we are starting to see a stockpile of fruits and vegetables from that. That's good to see. That's the first time we've seen that, really. Currently, we are growing fruits, vegetables, and meat in this bed. And fruits, vegetables, meat, and fibers in this bed. Eventually, we will have to add a microweaver somewhere in order to do something with those fibers. This area over here, this empty area, is going to be dedicated to another storage facility, which we don't quite need yet, but we will eventually. This power capacity node is a little bit in the way. I would like that to be moved here. That's going to disrupt our power quite a bit when we do that, though. So I'm waiting until most other jobs are finished before we do that, because we want to make sure that that gets full attention. Let's speed it up a bit. And let's take a look at what this shield looks like. Does it actually stick through the roof of our ship? It does indeed. Look at that. So the shield generator is the first object we've had which appears on the outside of the ship. So that's the only indicator there. The only indicator of that we have a shield. We can see that it's not powered. And it looks like this indicator is probably an indicator of our ship's health, because it says hull stability 50 there and shield 0. I'm thinking that once we actually power this thing, that we're going to see our what am I trying to say? Once we power this, I think we're going to see our shields, the shield indicator go up. Here we go. I'm trying to get to this power so I can link it. There we are. All right, this power we're going to link back to this wall node. There we go. So now we have our shields powered. Shield powered. Let's take a look again at the top of the ship. See if that indicator goes up. No, shield 0 again for some reason. Do we have to do something here to turn this on? 0 of 25 it says, and it has some kind of energy cell in it. So the shield is going to consume energy cells, it look like. Forms a continually regenerating protective energy shield around the ship. Uses power to recharge. Shield generators are controlled by the shield's console. The console is not there yet. Is that true? Well, the console's been finished. And Emerson is activated in the console, it looks like. He's just going to sit there and play with the shields. I wonder why he's doing that. Ah, he's waiting for the shields to charge. Emerson, go for it, man. Finally, charging the shields. That's how it works. Okay, so as long as somebody's operating the console, it looks like you get a very, very slow shield recharge. Wow. Remember, this is on 3x speed. I wonder if there's anything we can do to improve that, because that is extremely slow. Okay, and even with that shown, we still don't get a bar showing for shields. We just have to hover over that to see how much shield we have left. Oh, I can live with that. All right, let's get somebody out mining this carbon. It's here. It's not super valuable. It's going to take a while, but we might as well collect it. It's something we can trade away at the very least. Let's take a look at jobs. It looks like it is claiming unattended logistics tasks. But I think we've managed to get through most of them. Yes, all right, so We are still a little short-handed, especially when we send somebody off to do mining. But for the most part, I think we're having a success. We did manage to get a new... we did manage to get the shield generator up and running. Turn off this tactical display. See how we're doing. We have 5 hull blocks again, so now we can actually go out and plan to extend the hull a little further. So I think I'm going to do that on this side this time. Just because I'd like to keep this a little semblance of symmetry, even though we do have a grand plan for this ship. It's really looking pretty asymmetrical and miserable right now. To catch up this side with that side, it's going to require extending a lot of this hull area here, which we don't really have a plan for what to put in there, except for maybe extending the grow area. Let's take a look and see how much that's going to cost us. So we do have 5 hull blocks to play with. If we throw this line here, that's going to be 5 right away. Okay. So we're going to have to do this in small stages. 1.7 hull blocks to there, followed by a few more to there. Let's make sure we have enough to do that before we command any more. Emerson's going to hop out and do that. Speed that up and let it go. Take a look, meanwhile, at Madeline doing the mining. See if she's having any trouble. No, she seems to be doing fine. Actually running pretty quickly. Emerson's outside in the Deep Belt Delver, building the hull as instructed. Still have 5 hull blocks in storage, even though he should have taken some of those. Okay, dropped to 4. There we see. This warning is, of course, about hull blocks, nothing else. And that was the end of the day, so Madeline should be coming back pretty soon because she should be on break now. There she is, delivering her the carbon that she went mining for the day. The rest of the crew is already asleep by the time she gets back, so Madeline's going to skip her meal. She's feeling a little hungry. Not terrible. Taking a look at our status, we got uncomfortable environment on Emerson, Jimmy. Tala is doing fine with the environment. Overall moods still extremely high. Back to the relationships. Relationship with Tala really starting to show extreme deterioration there. Otherwise, the crew's looking pretty good. Heading for day 35 here. Speed up the night. We will catch up with the crew in the morning. There they are. Catching up with the crew, having some conversations. We really could prettify the walls in here. Let's do that really quick. Never quite remembering how to do that. Yeah, I think you actually go to Edit and click on the wall and then click in the room you want to change. There we are. I'm guessing this is Emerson back out there. Yep. Madeline is doing logistics instead of mining. That's fine. We don't really have a lot for anybody else to do right now. We could build some interior walls, get the interior wall build started, because we're just going to want to wall off this area that we're opening up to the hull as it becomes possible to do so. Guess we'll leave a gap there for now, because otherwise we're going to get a inaccessible area warning. Let's get a little more speed on here. Take a look at our hull blocks. We're down to 2. So we are still running into problems. Most of these icons here, we're no longer have any Hyperion. And this thing says it needs energy cells. Energy cells. Did we not make a energy cell order? We did not. Okay. Energy cells. We should just be using up. No, we should not be using up our energy rods because that's going to require. We're going to require those for the generator. Energy rods are going to be produced in this. And we do have an order for 10. That's going to need energium, which we are low on. Uh-oh. All right, we're going to have to go mine that energium up at the sector with the solar flare we saw. Because we are bottlenecking on energy cells right now. Energy cells. Looks like we actually don't have any. Yes, 0 energy cells. So we're going to, at the very least, let's make an order here to make sure that we have 3. Although running out of energy rods is probably going to be a critical failure because that will drop our generator down to 0. Output. Let's patch some walls in here. Leave a gap there. We can leave a gap there actually because we're going to extend the grow room here. And then let's get a jump order, or at least check. Make sure there's no pirates to jump to. Yes, we're going to prepare a jump. Prepare a jump, and we're going to hop into... I wish it auto-checked that when you selected it from the map screen. And we're going to jump into this area up here, where there are solar flares. Now, that's going to be extremely dangerous. So we're going to have to jump up there, and we're immediately going to tell the crew to try to mine that energium. Why am I not seeing any? What did I just do? Did I not? Huh, I believe I just dropped into the same sector we already were in. Okay, mistakes were made. Oh, well, the crew's already gone to bed, so we're gonna hold off on that hyperjump until the morning. That's okay, we are getting dangerously low on energy rods. And we are completely out of energium, so at the very least, we're gonna have to trade for energy rods if we don't have any way to make them. But hopefully we can jump to the new sector, mine some energy rods, and get out of there without much damage. Before we run completely out. It's interesting because the last time I remember checking that, we were like above 10. So something we're doing is consuming energy rods rapidly. I'm guessing it's because this self-user, which no, because we weren't actually running this. Yeah, I don't know. Somehow we've managed to consume a whole giant quantity of energy rods. Alright, you guys, as soon as your break's over, we're going to jump. So I'm going to let you finish your break. Break's over. Ah, this valley. Let's see if this guy has energy rods we can trade with. We should also build that operations console it's been nagging us about for almost 40 days. The MFS Valiant Attempt. Do you have any energy rods? No, you do not. You have hyperfuel, we don't need. Ah, you have energium. Let's buy this. That will stave off disaster. We're going to take as much as you're willing to give. 2,500, huh? Maybe not. On second thought. We could definitely afford to give up a couple hyperfuels. Maybe five or six hyperfuels. Let's do that. That's a fair trade. 5 hyperfuels for a pile of energium that will keep us going. Probably not the best trade, but we really should focus on surviving, and if we run out of power, we're pretty much dead. Alright, we are concentrating on building the hull, so let's continue with that, and we will jump as soon as we get that trade finished. That's wall. Let's look at the hull. We have 4 hull blocks. Kind of want to build out to here. .5, 3.3, 4.2. All right. Let's go 3.3. Take a look at trading for hull blocks. Did they have any? They did. Let's do a hull block trade. Why wait on resources when we can trade for them? Although, we're kind of running out of things to trade away. I suppose we have plastics that we don't really need. The only thing I've really found a use for plastics so far has been the weapons, and I think we have enough weapons. Was there anything else that we wanted plastics for? Let's see. Chemical refinery uses plastics for medical supplies. Medical supplies might actually be a fairly good trade commodity. They require fabrics, which we can't make, plastics, and chemicals, although in pretty low quantities. How much are you willing to trade for medical supplies? Not a lot. Okay. If we could figure out how to make quantronics and super blocks, those are the most valuable things. High-tech facilities and items, but I don't think we have any idea how to make those. Is that true? Oops. Here we go. Nope. So there's a whole class of blocks that we haven't even figured out how to make yet. We're gonna have to figure that out probably by finding schematics on a derelict, I would guess. So that seems like a fairly good goal, is to hit more derelicts, try to find more schematics. Okay, so we do want to make a whole block trade though, or maybe not. We're actually producing those fairly quickly. What do whole blocks take to make? Whole blocks take steel. Steel takes carbon and base metals. Alright, so base metals would be a better thing to trade with. Trade for, excuse me. Hello? Do you have base metals? No, you don't. Alright. We are low on energy rods despite trading for Energium. Did we get it ever? Don't think so. Why didn't we get it? Trade is still going through. Ah. They're bringing that to us right now. Great. Alright, let's let that trade complete. Let's let this hull get finished building. And then think about expanding the hull a tiny bit more and building an operations console. Let's build the operations console. That will finally let us communicate. Maybe there's something we've been missing by not communicating this whole time. Operations console takes 2 infra. We have 7. We're okay there. Takes 2 tech, 1 fabrics, and a bunch of tools. We can do that. Our temporary bridge is starting to look like it actually will have some function. Still pretty much limited by size of the crew not being able to do all of the logistics required to keep this giant ship running. We're probably going to have to expand with another generator up in this area in the far future. That's quite a ways off though. We expanded the grow area. So we can actually throw another grow bed in there, although I think it's really taxing us already having two, so we're just going to leave the floor space unused for now. Figure out how to put a wall here and where we want to put this other shield generator. Quickly, how much space does that occupy and where did we want it? Kind of want it right here, so we haven't quite built enough hull. But we can at least plan out the interior walls for it, I think. Yeah, let's take a look at where the walls would go, I suppose. The asymmetry of the design here is kind of not lending itself to making this easy. Alright, so if we had another grow bed in here, we could leave a single space for corridor. That means the grow bed occupies this space here. Then there's a corridor behind it, and then a wall here. So this wall should extend here, and then down to here. So I'll leave that as is for now. Eventually we'll destroy these lights and expand this and remove this power panel to make more sense. But for now, that at least gives an idea of the grow room design. Why are we paused? And also gives us an idea of how much we have to expand this hull to sort of make this the symmetry for the shields happen. Not actually symmetric, but having like a vague symmetry is enough for me. The whole organic nature of the growing of the ship has been quite a challenge, not having the thing pre-designed, just designing it with a vague idea of what we wanted it to be like. It's coming along surprisingly well, and the fact that there's just a huge available area helps. Alright, so shield there, that means we're going to have another shield roughly here. We're going to have a little wall here blocking off. That leaves us a little wing area here. I think this becomes the airlock, which probably moves this wall a little bit. If we wanted another set of ships, yeah, that would put another shuttle or another ROV here, and then a second shuttle here. 2 shuttles might be nice because that'll make exploring derelicts a lot nicer. It'll mean we'll have a way to trade while we're exploring derelicts, for example. Operations console still not built. Pretty much overwhelmed everybody again. Oh, environment condition was triggered for a second there. See if we can figure out what that was. Somebody feeling hot, maybe? No idea. The ship left before we finished our operations console, so we can't talk to them. And everybody's on break. All right, well, that wraps up yet another day aboard Space Haven. We're going to be finishing up some walls and the operations console next time. Hopefully expand the hull a little bit more, get a second shield generator up, and then jump to a system with a nebula. Unfortunately, we still don't have energy rods, although we should be able to make energy rods now. We are using them probably as fast as we're making them. Yes, we do have a order to make more here. Let's actually turn off this self-user order because I don't want to run out of energy rods. Pretty sure that was the only thing using them. Just checking energy block doesn't use them. No. And nothing else, right? Nothing in the assembler or advanced assembler using energy rods, I think. What about electric components? No recipes other than energy cells use energy rods. So once we convert that energium to energy rods, which this should really be a continuous order. Once we finish that, we should have a surplus and not be afraid of dying immediately, but it's always a possibility here on Space Haven. Take care of yourselves, leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed this episode. And hopefully I will see you next time. This is Corknut signing off. Bye-bye.